Hi guys, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to wherever you are in the world. It's your girl Laquana McIntyre. You are tuned into the road to success. I am successful too. We talk about personal growth, mindsets, what you name it, okay? Guys, welcome to another video. Okay, so I wanted to talk about a particular topic that really resonates with me a whole lot. It is something that I really feel strongly about because I consider myself a very feminine, very feminine woman. However, y'all, I've always had to embrace my independent role, and being an independent woman unfortunately makes you tap into a lot of masculinity, and that is something me as a woman I don't care too much about because I love my femininity so much. I absolutely love being a woman. I absolutely adore other women, and I think that a lot of us should learn how to tap and stay into our femininity a lot more. Now, I'm talking about this today though because as a feminine woman, when you become an entrepreneur, I'm going to say that it does get a lot of stereotypes. Okay, there's a lot of stereotypes in this boss babe era. Okay, and today I just want to talk about how you can embrace femininity in a boss babe world. Basically, how to stay in your femininity, okay, y'all? Because let's just be honest, staying in your femininity makes life a lot easier, and you can get a lot more things accomplished that way. Some people may disagree with this, okay? Some women may disagree with this, but hear me out. Hear me through the whole video before you pass judgment or complain about what I'm telling you, okay? Because I noticed that, y'all, I'm just gonna have to say this. I noticed in my few of my videos, you have people who will make comments and hasn't even watched the entire video to get the full context. So I'm like, if you're gonna leave like a crazy nasty comment, watch the whole video first to get the full context before you actually say something, because you really make yourself look like a fool, and it's clear then that you didn't watch the whole video. You just read the title and you just said attack mode. Okay, so let's just put that out there. Watch the full video first for context before you decide to go on this little rant. Okay. All right, so guys, today in this video I just want to briefly discuss the rise of the boss babe era and its emphasis on masculine traits like assertiveness and being competitive. I also want to explain the importance of staying connected to your femininity in this context, y'all. I definitely do. So let's just kind of first talk about what femininity is, okay? Because I do think that there is a misconception, especially in this new world, of what femininity looks like, guys. I do want to say this. Femininity is more than just your makeup, your lashes, who can have the longest weave or hair weave or longest, who has the longest hair or the curliest hair, who has the biggest, most luscious lips, and who has the curviest figure, and how long your nails are. Like, y'all, femininity is a lot more than the exterior. Yes, the exterior is highly important. Now, don't get it twisted. Like, you want to be beautiful or well kept on the exterior, but it means nothing if you look super attractive and appealing to the eye and your inside is trash. Let's just be clear. That does not make you a feminine woman, okay? You just know how to dress up to look like a feminine woman, but you don't possess the traits of a feminine woman. And that's kind of why I want to talk about this subject as well. Okay, so femininity, guys, to me, it's a divine essence about yourself. It's the way you carry yourself, okay? It's the energy that you bring to the room. Now, a lot of people also may equate it with how good you can cook, how good you can clean, you know what I'm saying? But that's also another thing that are just accessories to being a feminine woman. Being a feminine woman is again about your poise, how soft you are, how you present yourself in rooms. Again, when you're a very feminine woman, people can feel it when they're around you, and it just makes them gravitate to you and want to be in your presence. Because what happens is you come across as a nurturer. You have this very nurturing spirit about you, okay? You have, it's something about you where you're receptive. People are receptive to you. People are in your presence to the point where they're just wanting to give to you. They're wanting to open doors for you. It's like, is there anything I can do for you? Okay? And yes, your exterior could get you plenty of doors open, right? Let's just be clear, but will it keep you there? Will it keep you there? Femininity is intuition. It's intuition, okay? It's trusting your intuition. When you're in your feminine, you could feel and trust your intuition more than ever because you're tapped into your emotion. Intuition is, to me, triggered through your emotion. So you have a difference. Men are logically driven, and women, a lot of times, we're emotionally driven. And our emotions, a lot of times, allows us to tap more into our intuition. It's just a gift that we possess, y'all. I can't even explain how many times I was correct because of my intuition. I would have an intuition about something, and 9 times out of 10, it came into fruition. So that's a good way to know I'm tapped into my feminine. I'm tapped into my emotional. I know how to be emotionally intelligent. And that is very, very important as a feminine woman. So again, it's carrying yourself with grace, with poise. And it's, let's just be honest, it's your brain too, how educated you are, your intellect. Okay, so there's many nuances to being a feminine woman, but I did want to make it clear that it's more than just the exterior. It's not just the exterior. That's bits and pieces of it to make the complete package, but that's not the main things of being a feminine woman. Let's also discuss how femininity is not just limited to traditional gender roles or stereotypes. So I think I already tapped on a little bit, okay? So people feel like, oh, I can cook you breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I can make you biscuits from scratch. I clean the house night and day. I scrub my baseboards. Have those traits as a woman, y'all, because that's a beautiful trait. Like, I know me personally, I gotta be clean. You know what I'm saying? But that's not, again, what makes you a feminine woman. Because you can have men who are clean, you know what I'm saying, and know how to scrub baseboards and know how to cook a great breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's why I don't want to just limit it to just that, okay? So now that we got that out the way, let's talk about challenges to femininity in the modern era. There is a pressure right now to succeed in a society where women are led to feel like they're supposed to suppress their feminine traits. What do I mean by that? Okay, so as women, and I know you went through this because I've gone through this and still somewhat I'm going through it now. We tend to feel like we have something to prove because of inequality, such as less pay on the jobs, limited opportunities, and discrimination. Let's just be clear. Whenever we're working a job or we're hired for a job, when you show up as a woman, a feminine woman on top of that, automatically you're deemed as not adequate enough for the job. Therefore, we're going to pay you less money. So whenever you are in a society where men are the ones who are presented with the better opportunities, and men tend to get the, I guess the, how should I put this? Men tend to look for, to people tend to look to men as the leader, right? Let's just be clear. And therefore, they are the ones who generally are going to get the better opportunity. And I feel like what's going on because of that, when you have women who are now wanting to step into leadership roles, they're feeling like they had to somewhat compete with men on a man's level. Therefore, you're stepping up your masculine energy now, right? So now you're trying to almost start to possess the same traits that you see a man do in order to feel like you're going to get the same privileges. And whenever that happens, it never goes well. It never goes well. Because what happens when a man can get away with it, let's just be clear, but when a woman starts to get into a role of leadership and she starts to possess the traits of a man, she starts to be called angry, bitter, or worse, a bitch. And there start to be a lot of jealousy that starts to surround her. And men tend to gravitate away from women like that because essentially it could be intimidation, but they also may feel like I'm dating my colleague, my male colleague. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this, I've noticed that some women that steps into leadership roles, right, tend to start to wear their career all over them to the point where they're bringing it into their marriages too. So you start barking orders at your husband or your boyfriend because that's what happens at the office. And let's be clear, men don't want to be dating a woman that's ordering him around the house like she's ordering around her co-workers. So, but women normally don't notice this is happening because they're too busy in the mode of wanting to succeed so badly that they're willing to do whatever it takes, even if it's stepping out of their feminine essence. So this is not to say to not be a leader as a woman, but I want to talk about practical tips, which I'm going to get to that in a few. But this video is just to talk about practical tips for staying in your femininity. Because me personally, in my life, I'm a leader. I have a business. I have to make decisions, strategic decisions every day. Okay. But I never, again, want to get away from what makes me a woman and what makes me feel better about myself. And that is staying soft, staying feminine. Okay. One last thing before we get into the tips. I do want to talk about how social media can perpetuate unrealistic standards of femininity and beauty. This goes back to what I said about the exterior, right? There are so many women on social media today who are highly successful, and I love that for us, right? I love it. I love it. I love it. I'm gonna be honest, the biggest advocate for the boss babe era. I love that women are now creating lanes for themselves. They are having their own money. But what's happening is there's a lot of women on social media who looks good, got the flyest two-piece suit and the flyest Louboutins, and she jumping in her newest Mercedes, high-rise condo with the beautiful view, right? All of this looks so appealing to the eye. So appealing to the eye. Like, she's doing so good. And we're looking at her like, wow, she's beautiful. Look at her skin. Look at her hair. And she's living the life that I want to live, right? But again, we tend to lose sight on what's going on in her mental space. Is she really carrying herself in her femininity? Is she really pleased with these things that she have? Or is she trying to uphold an image? You know, how is she in her personal life? Again, is she truly happy to have these things? Is she running people off? Like, what type of energy is she bringing into rooms? So I feel like a lot of us women, when we see these things on social media, it looks good to the eye, but we forget about real life, what that would look like for us. If you obtain these things in real life, and in order to get it, you have to, let's say, in order to get these things, you're wanting it so bad, you now become very dominant and rah, 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 I'm going to get it, I'm going to scratch and claw till I get it. How how are you feeling in the inside after that is done? So this is not to say that there aren't women who are getting these things without staying in their femininity, resting in their femininity. But I always want you to keep that in the back of your mind, okay? Keep that in the back of your mind. Because I've seen women highly successful, and on the flip, super dominant, super aggressive, and just such a turnoff to the point where it's like, ew, I don't even want to be in the same room with you. You know? I don't even want to be in the same room with you. You're not pleasant. It just feels like I'm talking to a man. And that's not attractive. That's not attractive. But again, I'm all for the boss babe era. I love entrepreneurship for women. I love leadership for women. And that's why I want to tell you a few tips and suggestions that'll help you stay in your femininity as you're pursuing your role of boss babe. Number one, you definitely want to prioritize self-care, okay? So make sure that you are engaging into activities that are nourishing your mind, body, and your spirit. Whether that's meditation, that's yoga, um, that's working out, spending time in nature, y'all. Like, I cannot express how important it is to take time to yourself and just think clearly so you could be making sound decisions when it comes to your life. Sound decisions allows you to show up for yourself. That way you can show up for others, especially if you have children and you have a husband, okay? You want to make sure you're taking care of you so you can show up in the proper way when it comes to them. If you're not taking care of yourself, that's going to come across as angry, upset, and essentially a breakdown. Next, I want you to connect with your emotions. That's what makes us a beautiful feminine being, our emotions. Embrace it. I know people always, want to down a lot of women. Oh, you're too emotional. You're too emotional. Yes, there is a sense of being too emotional. I am not negating that. Emotional intelligence is a real thing. You want to make sure that you have balance, okay? Let's just be clear. But also, while you're pursuing your entrepreneurship or your leadership journey, or if you're in it right now, make sure you are feeling as well. Make sure you are feeling and expressing your emotions in a healthy way rather than suppressing them. Because we want to make logical decisions. Let's just be clear. But our emotions also plays a factor and plays a role. Whenever, especially whenever you have people who you are managing, you don't want to talk to people just from a sense of logic, logic, logic. Oh, he was late to work today. That's a write-up. This is a time where you should be tapping into your emotion and start empathizing and listen to why this person has been late. What's going on in your life? How can I help you help me make it better? I cannot express how beautiful that makes you when you could be someone who's empathetic and relatable. And that is why I say be sure you're always connecting with your emotion. Make sure you're understanding people. Cultivate nurturing relationships. Relationships are key. But I say nurturing relationships. You want to surround yourself with people who support and uplift you. So I'm not just saying surrounding yourself with business relationships, people that can get you into the next room. No, I'm talking about old friendships, people who's been around since day one that you can trust. Family, your mom, your dad, whoever. These people and these relationships are going to be key as you're growing on your journey to keep you grounded. It just keeps you grounded. It makes you remember where you came from. Because sometimes when we're just focused on cultivating business relationships, we get caught up in that. And that's a lot of times how we get burnt. We start cultivating relationships with people who doesn't mean well for us, and therefore we're having to tap into our masculine because now we're having to put guards up left and right, because I don't know if you're trying to get me or not. And as a woman, they already look at us like we don't know what we're talking about a lot of times. So they're going to try to get over on you as much as they can. And that's why I always say keep people around you who you could trust as a woman. If you had to make a business decision, these are people that you can actually go and confide in, and you know they have your best interest at heart. And it's somewhat like protection. Let's just be real about that, okay? Next, embody your sensuality. Yes, okay? Embody your sensuality, okay? Celebrate your body. Dance, move, appreciate your beauty, okay? Like, be sexy, okay? Like, in a boss babe era, like I said before, you don't want to like come across like a bitch. You want to look like the boss, but dang, I want to buy her a car. Like, how can I take care of her? You know what I'm saying? Because wow, it's just the way she said that to me. She was so soft and graceful with the way she asked me to write this paper for her, or on the bit in the business deal. She was assertive, but at the same time, it's something about her tone that made her more inviting. So there's a thing that they tell you guys whenever you're talking to people. A lot of times, if you can soften your tone just a bit, look people in the eye, that will automatically make someone so drawn to you and want to know more about you, because you're pleasing. Again, you're pleasant, and it feels like Mother Teresa. And people gravitate to that. And I'm going to say specifically men, because again, when you're in a boss babe position, you're going to have to do business with men. Let's just be clear, okay? I do want to touch on a subject though, on how to protect yourself though whenever you have men who try to cross the line when you're doing business. But we'll talk about that later. For now, we just want to talk about how you can get the deal closed, but without having raw put in and without stepping over boundaries. Last but not least, I want you to trust your intuition. Again, always listen to your inner voice. Trust your instincts. Don't doubt them, because that is what makes us a woman. That's what keeps you in tune to your feelings. It keeps you in tune to what's really going on around you. Yes, logic is important, but sometimes logic can have us overthinking, making up narratives and just oh my gosh, it just has you everywhere sometimes because you're thinking too deep versus your intuitions a lot of time. It helps you in not second guessing yourself or having to seek validation. I hope that this helped someone. I do. Um, because again, ladies, I just I can't express enough like how beautiful we are and how important we are in this world. Like, I'm telling you, I feel like this world needs the essence of women and femininity. I don't care how much you may see men on the internet complaining about women and women this and women that. No, I'm not gonna lie, we are the drivers to this society. We are the driving force. I don't care what nobody say. So again, use your superpower, because it is a superpower, by staying in your femininity, but still setting boundaries, being assertive, and making it happen. And trust me, you will see a difference and you will get a lot further. If you guys enjoyed that video, please be sure you rate, comment, and subscribe. Leave a comment below, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.